He was a president without a party. Born on a James River plantation in Virginia, he served in both the House and Senate and as Virginia's governor. He left the Democratic Party in opposition to President Jackson during the nullification crisis of the 1830s. Nominated on the Whig ticket to attract the votes of states' rights Southerners, he unexpectedly became president a month after assuming the vice presidency when President Harrison died in office. He established the precedent with some opposition of the vice president fully assuming the presidency at the death of the incumbent president. He opposed the Whig-controlled Congress's attempts to establish a national bank and raise tariff rates. A firm proponent of states' rights and manifest destiny, he signed a bill annexing Texas into the Union just days before leaving office, igniting a war with Mexico. In the run-up to the Civil War, he chaired a peace conference, but then sided with the Confederacy and was elected to the Confederate Congress. He died while serving in Richmond and was buried with a Confederate flag draped over his coffin. He was our nation's 10th chief executive, John Tyler. Let's take a look at a map of Virginia and some sites relating to John Tyler. Like William Henry Harrison, John Tyler was born on a plantation along the James River called Greenway, in about this area, and nearby is the plantation that he owned and where he lived for many years, Sherwood Forest Plantation. His descendants still live there today, but you can visit and take a guided tour of the grounds. Tyler also had a house in nearby Williamsburg, which was long past its glory days as the capital of colonial Virginia. The capital had long since moved to Richmond, and he actually owned a house that was an 18th century structure, but it was not restored when the restoration was done at colonial Williamsburg. So the house does not stand today, but a couple of the outbuildings do, and you can see where the house was in colonial Williamsburg. And that actually is where Tyler was living when he was notified that President Harrison had died and that he would be the first vice president in history to succeed to the presidency through the death of a president. Tyler died in 1862 while serving in the Confederate Congress, and he was buried in Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond. He's buried really right next to President James Monroe in Hollywood Cemetery. Now let's take a look at some photographs of some of these sites. Now let's take a look at some books in my library relating to John Tyler. This book is a shorter biography of Tyler. It was published in 2006, written by Edward P. Crapel. It's called John Tyler, the Accidental President. Tyler really had been in need of a good scholarly researched full-scale biography, and he's finally got it. This book just came out. It's called President Without a Party, The Life of John Tyler by Christopher Leahy, and it was published in 2020. And it presents Tyler as a moderate figure in the time of territorial expansion, manifest destiny, the Mexican War, and all of the events that would eventually lead to the Civil War. It portrays Tyler as a moderate figure who was opposed by both Whigs and Democrats. Our next program will focus on our nation's 11th president, James K. Polk.